everyone, it's Marcy Denning here from Stampin' with Marcy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I sell all of the fabulous products that I share with you. Thank you for pressing play on today's video. Today I have a fun and easy card for you using the Christmas Means More stamp set. I'm going to be using this sentiment right here. And let me bring in the card. This is the card we are going to be creating. And I'm using my Stamparatus to stamp my sentiment because I find sometimes with a large stamp that sometimes I don't get the ink coverage that I'm hoping for. So let me move that light so that it's not glaring. I don't quite get the nice crisp image that I'm hoping for. So I find that by stamping it multiple times, I'm going to get that nice crisp, dark image. So I have my Stamparatus all set up. I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock here. My sentiment is already on my plate, and I'm going to be stamping with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. So, and sometimes you find that your photopolymer stamps tend to stick to your cardstock when you go to lift up. So I'm going to show you a neat little trick that I do to make sure that that doesn't happen. So let me just scooch this down just slightly. So I'm going to take my bone folder and I am going to slide it in here right up so it's holding that cardstock down so that when I lift, my paper does not shift at all, and therefore I should not get a smudgy haloed looking image. It's still going to be stamping in the exact same spot. Excuse the shaking as I ink up my sentiment. All right, so here we go. And I just find that doing it twice just ensures that I have that nice dark crisp look. And slide my magnets off, and there we have that really nice crisp looking image. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Okay, so now I am using some of the Cherry Cobbler designer series paper from, oh, hold on just one second while I look it up. It is from the, oh my goodness, Plaid Tidings designer series paper, and I believe this paper is on sale for 15% off until the end of the month. So we are going to glue this together. This is 3x5, and my shaded spruce is 3 1/8 by 5 1/8. All of the measurements as well as product links can be found on my blog. If you want to head on over there. If you're wanting the complete measurements as well as product links. As well, if you're wanting to purchase any of the supplies from my online store, I would truly appreciate that, and please use this month's host code. Okay, so now I just wanted to set this aside, get it glued, because I'm going to be tying ribbon around it and I don't want it to be moving at all. So I'm going to take my shaded spruce dark and Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to add a little bit in the center. Then I'm going to take my light shaded spruce and I am going to fill that in just like that. Now you don't have to do all these steps. You don't have to double stamp it. You can just singly stamp it the once, but I just wanted to show you how you could get that really dark, crisp look with your tuxedo black ink pad. So we are coloring in those holly berries with the dark cherry cobbler. Okay, I find it's easier to color before I die cut. All right, so now we are going to move this aside, and we are going to bring in our Stampin' Cut emboss machine. Once I close up my ink pad here. Okay, so then I've got my machine is right here, and I have my magnetic plate is sitting on top. So we have our sandwiches number 1. They're all numbered at the top here. Number 2. This is number 5. So 1, 2, 5. Then you're going to put down your cardstock. Your die, this is the largest of the circles from the Stitched Shapes dies. And we're just going to put that on there. Make sure my M is not being cut off at all. Okay, and then our top plate is the number 3. All right. And then we're just going to crank that through. And we're done with that. And here we have our die cut stamped sentiment that's all colored in. Okay, so now we have a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. But don't worry, you don't have to quickly write down those measurements. You can just head on over to my blog. Once you're done watching this, I'll have the blog post link in the description below. Now this is a 4 1/4 by 5 3/8, or sorry, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 piece of Whisper White that I have used the subtle embossing folder on, because I wanted just that slight texture to my background. Okay, so next we are going to take some of this gorgeous shaded spruce ribbon, and it is from the Wonder of the Season ribbon combo pack. It comes with this beautiful gold cording. So we are going to take, now this is a little finicky. You don't have to tie a bow around it like I did for my card. Let's bring that back into view here. You don't have to tie a bow around it. If you don't like bows, if you're not great at bow tying, you can just do a knot, or you could do a faux bow. So I want to make sure that I have enough, because this is a bigger ribbon. So I want to make sure that I've got enough on here. And we are going to turn it on its side. I want to make sure that I'm a little off with that, because I want my bow sideways. So, like I said, it is just a smidge persnickety and fiddly, but all right, so before I go any further, I'm going to turn it so that I can see, and I'm going to do my favorite little helpful trick where I take a glue dot once I know exactly where I want my bow to be sitting, so I'm going to take that glue dot and stick it right there where I know I want that bow to end up. So I'm going to tighten and stick down. So see, I can take my hands away and then I can continue to work away at creating my bow. All right, so tie this around. Give myself a little bit more of a loop area there. Sometimes the wider ribbon is a little trickier to make a bow because there is so much more material, but oh, the bows that are created with them are stunning. All right, so we are going to give that a really good, strong tug. And then what I like to do is take my thumbs and insert them into the loops, grab my tails just like that. So you can see I've got my thumbs are through the loops, my hands are holding that tail, and then I'm going to tug so that it gets that nice, tight bow. All right, let's do that one more time. Like I said, it is a smidge trickier with your thicker, wider, fabric bows, but I like that bow. So there, it's going to sit nicely on the side, and just a smidge there. So now we are going to take our glue and I'm putting some on my ribbon there. All right, so get that all adjusted there. So I want this on the left-hand side slightly. Now this is going to cost you more postage because it sticks up a bit more, so just be aware of that. You may want to hand deliver this. So now we are just going to snip, and then we can adjust when we have our sentiment on there. Snip. All right, so now we need to put some dimensionals on this. So, and because it is such a large image, I'm going to use quite a few dimensionals because I don't want it to sag. If that's not a concern for you, then you don't need to worry about putting quite so many on, but like I said, I like my things not to be saggy. So I like to use a few more dimensionals than the average crafter, I would think. Okay, so now we are just going to move that tail slightly, and we want the means to be kind of in the center. And before we fully press that down, I want to lift it up to make sure. And I want it to be over just a hair more. So, because I have not pushed it down there firmly, then I know I'm pretty good at just shifting it slightly. So now I'm going to give that a press, and then I'm going to turn my bow, my card, so that I can kind of fuss with my bow just a little bit. And then I can take that tail and tuck it underneath, so it's kind of framing my card. So then we want to put a few little rhinestones here. Whoop, that's a bit heavy with the glue, and I always like to add a little bit extra security when I'm going to be placing any embellishments on. I want to make sure that they're not going to fall off before they get to the intended recipient. So I am using the holiday rhinestones, the shaded spruce ones. So got my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the different sized ones because it just makes it look, whoops, I have slipped that out of the spot of glue, and I've got a Maya, the very furry cat hair on this rhinestone. All right. Oh, and I didn't get it off. Oops, it's pulling my rhinestone off of my glue spot. There we go. And then one here, and one here. And I think I want this tail to be just a little shorter. So that means this one here can also be taken down just slightly. All right, and then we can tuck that under so it's kind of framing. Get this all out of the way, and there we have our beautiful Christmas Means More card. Let me zoom that in a little bit for you. There, I hope you enjoyed today's project. As I said, all of the measurements will be on my blog, so you can pop on over there to see the still photo and then get all of the measurements as well as product links. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would love it if you did. Please click that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. See you again soon. Bye.